conversations over dinner out of the many events that we've had through Meetup. And some of you know that I bike. I'm a cyclist. And for 13 years, I lived in an apartment, a condo, one-bedroom condo on the third floor. So I didn't have a garage, and I had a bike rack. So the bike rack is on top of my car. Then I moved into a townhouse with a garage. And have you ever seen that commercial where they come home and they forgot the bikes were on top of the car? Well, that was always my worst fear. And then one day, I was coming home from a bike ride, and I totally forgot. And I just went right into the garage. And I flashback of that commercial. And thank goodness, my bike was okay. The bike rack, because my bike was on backwards, so there was a bag, and that sort of stopped it, but the bike rack was all bent, and I had to get that replaced. So thank goodness the bike was okay. A couple of years later, I just finished a bike ride. 45 miles to celebrate a 45th wedding anniversary of two of the couples in my bike club. Very hot day. Went to a little party afterwards, actually a big party, got back in the car, started driving, got on the Mass Pike. I was coming from like Lincoln or somewhere. And I'm driving down the Mass Pike about 80 miles per hour, and I heard a thump, or felt a thump. I said, what? How can someone hit me in the middle of the Mass Pike? I looked in my rearview mirror, and my bike is flying down. Exactly. And I panicked. I said, oh my God, and where's my phone, 911, my bike, someone's gonna die. And I pulled up to the breakdown lane, and there's no breakdown lane. And I kept driving, and then I was so lucky because the state barracks, Mass Pike, Weston, State Trooper, right there, pulled in. Actually, I already called. My bike, somebody's gotta go get my bike. I pulled in, I said, I'm the one that just called. And they said, they just sent someone out there. 5 minutes later, the guy comes back, the policeman, and says, the bike is gone. Someone picked it. I said, does that happen? Do things fall off cars and people? Oh yeah, ladders, chairs, dogs. Happens all the time. So I was devastated. This was my bike. I had about 1,000 miles on it. I had spent a lot of time with this bike. And thank God, though, it didn't hurt anybody. And about a month later, I already bought a new bike. Insurance covered it, home insurance, so keep that in mind, people. And about a month later, my bike shop called me up and said, your bike was just brought in for repairs. Oh. Somebody had seen the bike fall off my car, picked it up for their niece, and gave it to her. But the bike was beyond repair. And I got my bike back, which is in my basement, beyond repair. But I had had my bag on it, all my stuff was in it, so it was really nice to get my bike back. A couple years later, I'm driving home from the Cape. I recently broke up with my boyfriend. I just had a fight with my mother. I'm leaving a day early. I'm very upset. It's Labor Day weekend, and I'm on 25, 495. And I feel a thump. Do you thump, 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 thump? And that's what I said, oh, not again. I look in my rearview mirror, and not only is my bike, but the entire rack is flying down. This time, I was cool, calm. I've been through this before. I pulled over to the median. I didn't even try a breakdown lane. Got out of my car. I was not going to leave the scene because nobody was going to take my bike again. And I started walking down. And you've never seen traffic stop so fast or build up. I was the cause of that traffic jam. Everyone stopping, looking at the girl with her little sundress, walking with bike all over the street and bike rack pieces all over the street. And I did call the police very calmly. Police came, helped me put everything. Actually, a truck stopped. These guys got out, and I thought they were going to take the bike, but they probably saw me walking, and they just took everything and pushed it to the side. Thank you, God. My bike was fine. The bike rack, of course, is history. I now have a new car. The bike fits in the car. No more bike rack for me.